We stood outside of the agency that Hershey was stationed at as he took our report. 2 days had passed since the fight, and it was still weighing on all of us. We were all ready to leave, but we needed to wrap things up before we did. It's only polite after all. I kept my arm wrapped as best I could. Knowing that I'd now have no use of my other hand was beginning to set in, and it was an acceptance I felt. It was dread. I couldn't swing the sword by normal means one-handed. I could barely swing it with two. What the hell was I supposed to do now?
3 mages? Lord, I thought you said there were 2.
What? And ruin the surprise? Look, you said it yourself. This was your last case, and if you knew there were 3, you might have tried to run away. Or worse, do something about it. You are keeping your word on that, right?
I mean, look at you. All 4 of you torn up and cut. That lad over there lost his hand. Criminals are getting more and more dangerous by the month. I'm out. Once I report this to my supervisors, I'm hanging up the doublet for good.
Good. You got out alive. Not everyone can say that.
Remember what I said, Tobes. You got a detective's mind.
But a warrior's heart. Thanks for the advice, but my path was chosen.
Ooh, that's a good line.
I thought so too.
Well, take care of yourself, you lot. No one's going to do it for you.
Hershey walked toward the door, where I was sitting on a barrel near, holding my arm. He stopped and looked at me, looking at my arm and sighed.
The sacrifices we make, eh?
I looked down, remembering it was exactly that. I nodded glumly. He patted me on the shoulder and went inside. It was the last we ever saw of him. Good thing, too. The guy needed to settle down. I got off the barrel and Edith walked over to me quickly and hugged me tight. She and I weren't shy to show that we cared for each other, but this hug felt especially desperate. She buried her head in my shoulder. She wasn't crying, but she was definitely emotional.
You saved my goddamn life, Xander. I'd be dead if it weren't for you. I owe you everything, you know that?
You don't owe me anything. You would have done the same for me, wouldn't you?
Nah, I would have pushed you out of the way and not gotten my hand cut off. But in all seriousness, yeah, I would have.
Then we're square. If you can find me something for the pain.
I can't do that, but I talked to Bartleby, old friend of my dad's, real sweet guy. You remember him? You snaked him out of that sword.
Well, I mean, it wasn't me who...
I don't need details, believe me. It's helping us on the journey. I told Bartleby you lost your hand and to do his niece a favor and do something for you. So head over to his place before we leave. Once you get back, we'll hit the road.
I didn't want to see Bartleby again, as I was pretty sure he'd make mention to the sword I was still carrying around, but if he could help me out with my arm, I guess it was worth a try. I walked across town on my own until I found his shop. I walked inside and saw him pounding away at the anvil, just like last time. Hey, I was told here to come by Edith.
Oh, there you are. Wait, is that Alistair? I told you not to bring it back here.
Relax. I raised my left nub. Bartleby winced at the sight of it. I think the curse has already picked a new target, don't you think?
So it would seem. Speaking of that, it's why I called you here. I've been working on a prototype off and on with my spare time. But when little Edith came in here with a request, it jumped to the top of my to-do list.
So what'd you have in mind?
A while back, when I was going from town to town, I noticed a swordsman fighting with one hand. His hand was severed in a fight. Much like yours, from what I hear.
So relatable.
He came to me and asked me to fashion him a weapon that he could use on his other arm. I tried endlessly and couldn't think of anything. Until I went fishing. Then it hit me.
The water?
No, the idea hit me.
Fish attached to the arm?
Humor is your coping mechanism, ain't it?
Call me Bartleby placed something on the counter and removed his hand from it. It was a hardened leather brace with a shoddy cast iron hook attached to it. The hook wasn't sharp or even pointed, so there wasn't a lot of damage it could do in a fight.
I know what you're thinking. What a piece of art, right?
Yep. Piece of something, all right.
Well, in all honesty, I didn't have a lot of time to perfect this. I got your measurements from Edith and had only a few hours to hammer something together. There's no two ways about it. It's shit. But it's better than walking around with a nub, right?
I suppose so. Sure this thing will fit? I feel like I'll look like a pirate.
I got your measurements. Here, let's have a look.
I unraveled the tattered cloak of Edith and had a severe blood stain. Bartleby threw it out and wrapped a bandage around my wrist. Once he tied that bandage snugly, he fit the hook onto my arm. It was tight, but not so much so that it hurt. I knew it wasn't going anywhere. He took a short line of twine and wrapped it around the brace and tied a knot, then cut the excess rope. It was there to keep it from moving. Picked up my arm and twisted it, getting a feel for the hook. It was heavier than my hand was, so it would take some getting used to. I swung my arm around and the hook didn't even move. It was as if it was completely attached to my arm. What a weird feeling. I tapped it on the counter. I felt the vibration on my arm, but touching something with what would become my hand and not feeling what I was touching was... well, it sucked, I won't lie. It made me really sad. But sadness is a catalyst of pain, and pain is the fuel for anger, and anger is the cause for motivation. I would never see my left hand again, but I can ensure that I wouldn't lose my other one. What do I owe you?
Anything you owed me was paid the moment your group dealt with those mages. The murdering is over, right?
One can hope, but I'm pretty sure you can rest easy.
Then the only thing left is to walk out of my shop and be on your way. Take care, Xander.
Yeah, you too.
Don't bring that damn sword back again.
I walked out of the shop and the sunshine hit me pretty instantly. Tried to block it with my left hand, but the sun cut through the opening in the hook. I sighed and changed hands. Walked over to my friends and waved at them with the hook.
It fits. Good. Hopefully you can get used to it.
As long as you can still cook, you can put a spoon on your wrist for all I care.
I suppose this makes you a hooker, doesn't it?
Very funny. I guess that's everything, right? We can leave Sanders still?
Yep, end of an era. We've been here for months.
The next town's about 12 miles down the road, you said? That's the town we need to get to. There's a branching path near the town square that leads to the gates of Valorian. It's well hidden. We're almost there.
Do we have money for the road?
Sure do. Enough to get to the next town easy.
Then what are we waiting for?
Hooker. I kill me.
We walked for about an hour before we began getting a little tired. Keep in mind, a few days prior, we were fighting for our lives in the forest outside of Sanderstill, and now we could leave that place behind. But still, we were tired and in tremendous pain. We made small talk about things we liked about Sanderstill, but it was short conversations. We never really liked it there. It was just a place to stay before the murders happened, and we'd likely never see the town again. Edith saw him first, but it didn't take long for us to as well. There was a man on the side of the road sitting down, his head down. He looked incredibly downtrodden. I didn't blame him. His cart was completely empty. He took a big sigh and then looked up to see us. Instantly, he perked up, desperate for our attention.
Hey! Over here!
Does he think we can't see him? He's like 20 feet away.
He looks like he has a few screws loose. Let's go around him.
Well, wait a minute now, Sergeant. Where's that no man left behind demeanor?
This man seems oddly familiar somehow.
Oh, thank the good Lord. I thought no one would find me. It's great to see yous, I tell yous. It's really great to see us.
What happened? Just not a merchant's cart? Where's your stuff?
That's just it. I was riding along, as you do, and suddenly these freaks come out of nowhere and tell me to pull over. They got bows, and I ain't messing with that, so I did as they asked. Anyway, they tell me to hand over everything, and in my head, I'm like, what the fuck? But I didn't say nothing. I just said, fine, take it. It was so much hard-earned cash just waiting to be mine. Now I got nothing.
Aren't you the guy from the apple stall in Sanderstill?
Huh? What? Oh, no, that's my brother, Frank. Listen, you gotta help me. I don't have much left, but I can sell it to you at a higher price, but I gotta make money, I don't think we have any need for, jars of pickles and... what is this? They look like face masks. Hey, one of these days, there's gonna be a big sickness going around, and everyone's gonna need to wear one of these things.
Right, that'll be the day.
Look, is there anything you can buy? Seriously, I'd appreciate it.
We'll buy everything. 1,200 gold.
Everything? Oh, you're a saint. You are a saint. Just let me grab my...
Cart included.
Huh?
We want everything, including the cart. Hell, you can keep your merch if you want, but we want the cart and the horse.
That's my livelihood. Why would I...
Look, we're offering you enough money to buy a room for a month. Hey, one-time offer. But if you don't want it...
Can you at least give me a ride to wherever you're going?
Sure. Hop in my cart.
You are so bad, I swear.
The baddest, baby. Let's hop to it, boys and girl. We got somewhere to be? You're driving, men.
Oh, goody. I was hoping to get some merchant carriage practice in. The car had an inside and a door blocking it. We opened the door, and Iron, Edith, and the merchant walked inside. We closed the door, and Phineas and I hopped in the driver's seat.
Have you driven one of these things before?
How hard could it be?
Horses aren't brainless, but they're not too swift. At least not this breed. If you tell it to run off a cliff, it will. So, try not to kill us.
Do you want to drive this thing?
Me? Oh, heavens no, and be responsible for all of our collective deaths? I'd rather that be on your shoulders.
How are you the adult of the four of us?
How dare you? I am as responsible as can be.
Is that why you slept the entire time we were investigating?
Don't be rude. I trained you, didn't I?
Yeah, and look where that training got me. I got my hand cut off.
How was that my fault?
If you were as good at teaching as you were at snoring, maybe I'd had my hand still.
What? Fine. Drive yourself. The thanks I get for trying to help you when I didn't need to.
Phineas crossed his arms and turned away. I looked at him and rolled my eyes. This journey was beginning to wear on our rapport. We were getting irritable so easily with each other, way quicker than we were at the start of this. We rode a while, letting the breeze hit us. It was an uncomfortable silence. Phineas and I hadn't said words in damn near like an hour, and I didn't think that was going to change. We came to a bridge, and a woman stood on the other side of it. I slowed the horses to a crawl, and Phineas finally looked at me, then the woman. He uncrossed his arms and leaned forward.
That's far enough, you two. Off the carriage, now.
Is she serious?
I'm not talking to you.
Are you... Let's get down. He hopped off the carriage, and I banged on the door. A few moments later, the carriage emptied. They looked at the woman standing in the road, confused.
What is this? Hold up?
What is she holding up? She looks empty-handed to me.
Oh no, it's them! Them's the ones who took all my stuff!
Come on out, boys! We've got a show!
A myriad of bandits came out of the bushes next to her and stood beside her. We looked at her, confused and mildly annoyed. Can you move, please? We really need to cross this bridge.
If you pay the toll, sure. But it's no cheap toll, I should warn you.
How about we don't and say we did?
Who are you?
I've gone by many names. The Bridge Demon, the Lurker Below, and most famously, Jennifer, taker of the bridge toll. But I've decided to shorten that since it's, too long. Behold, you are getting robbed by Jen of Tolls!
Well, I don't know who you think you are, but... Jen of Tolls. You named yourself Jen of Tolls.
Yes? What's wrong with that?
Oh my god, you can't possibly... You know what that sounds like, right?
No, it doesn't sound like anything. It's a good name.
No, it really isn't. It makes you seem like you're kind of a dick. Edith snickered behind me. I couldn't keep myself from smiling.
How dare you? You mock me? That's it! Leave your carriage where it is and get lost!
Gotta tell you, doing this whole bandit shtick takes a lot of balls. Don't you think, Xander?
Oh yeah, she's the best at what she does.
Enough! Boys, you know what to do.
And so do you, Phineas. You think you can...
I'm not talking to you.
Edith, can you get him to...
Okay. Yo, Skelly Mage, think you can clear the way a bit?
Of course, Sergeant. Anything to help out. I am so very useful after all.
Phineas raised his arms and quickly swiped his hands upward, and a massive wall of earth spawned underneath the bandits, flipping them all into the air into the water below. Good old Jen went with them, and ended up being a lot easier than I anticipated. Phineas wasn't lying. He was an extremely powerful and wise ally. I misspoke earlier out of frustration. I'd had a bad few days, you could probably tell. I wanted to say sorry, but the words caught in my throat. He split the wall and moved it aside so we could pass through and hopped right back onto the cart.
Holy hell, that was amazing! How did he...
Yeah, it was nuts. Let's get back on the road. Still got another hour until we're in town. The girls and the merchant climbed into the carriage and off we went. I directed the horse past the split stone wall and onwards to the directions we sought. It's really impressive. I didn't think you'd do it that quick.
I'm not talking to you.
Seriously? Come on, man. I didn't mean it.
I'm not talking to you.
We were in for a long ride. The town of Harving was a quiet one, far more so than Sanderstill. We pulled into town on the carriage and I halted the horse slowly. I looked over at Phineas, who was still completely ignoring my existence. I sighed, shaking my head, and hopped out. Banged on the door, and shortly after it opened, the inhabitants emptied out into the streets. Irene took a big stretch, reaching her arms back. Edith put her hands on her hips, surveying the town, and the merchant scampered off with the gold in hand, eager to purchase a room to stay for the night. I looked around only to see Phineas walking away. Where are you going?
I am not talking to you.
For fuck's sake. Edith, can you...
What is going on? Phineas, where are you going?
I need a drink, Sergeant. You're free to join me.
That sounds divine. Be back in a bit, Zans.
You guys! Damn it. What are we gonna do?
Well, I, for one, could use a drink. I'm absolutely parched from the road.
It's not that kind of drink, Princess.
Nonsense! There's only one kind of drink. A liquid. Now let's go.
I followed her into the tavern and was instantly overwhelmed by the stench. At least Sanders still cleaned up their taverns. The hell was wrong with this place? Still, just as the town outside, inside was relatively quiet as well. People minded their own business in this place. A welcome sight, in all honesty, just not a welcome smell. Where the hell did they go? I can't see them.
They're over by the bar. See?
What? Oh. Yeah, there they are. Good eye.
Well, I'm parched. Time to grab a drink. What do you humans drink? Beer? I think I'll try such a beverage.
I don't know if that's such a good idea.
What? Don't think I can handle it? I can handle anything, I'll have you know.
Iron turned toward me with those deep red eyes, and I was taken back to a few nights ago. The early morning sun at her back, her eyes peering into my soul, her lips.
Hello? Are you under a mind crush spell? What's wrong with you?
Oh, sorry, just don't drink too much.
I would never do such a thing. You have so little trust in me, Alexander. Excuse me, barmaid. 10 please.
I held my hand out at her and she was already gone. I couldn't help but smirk, knowing I'd be carrying her ass out of this bar by the time we were leaving. I shook my head and found Edith. She was throwing back a shot of something. I didn't ask for what. I was far too concerned at the 3 empty shot glasses next to her. I went wide-eyed. Holy shit. How long have you been here? All of a minute?
One of these isn't mine.
Only one?
I was thirsty.
What's going on with you? You don't even like hard liquor. You were always the ale girl.
I just wanted something different. I feel it already. I feel great. One more, barkeep.
Dude, we gotta go. We spent forever trying to get to this point.
Come on, Zans. I'm fine. Can a girl loosen up now and then?
Look, I'm worried about you.
That's nice, but I'm fine. Alright, how about this? No more drinks. Gonna go sell that carriage while I'm feeling loose.
I grabbed her arm lightly and she turned to me, curious. I lowered my voice and dropped my gaze to a sympathetic look. Is this about what happened with Tara? Edith's eyes changed somehow. Her expression didn't, but it's as though her eyes glazed over, as if her conscience left briefly. Look, I know you haven't seen anything like that, and it's tough the first time. And if you need anything... She ripped her arm away forcefully. I snapped back, surprised by the sudden jerk of her arm. Her lip quivered and she looked away, remorseful of what she'd just done.
Carriage ain't selling itself.
Edith. She opened the door to the tavern and walked out without another word. I've never seen her like this. I looked sadly as I closed behind her. She didn't look back. She was hurting, I could tell. The horrific sight of Tara's skin being melted from her skull was stomach turning, to put it as delicately as I could. But seeing a melted body as a child tempered me for this moment. Still, it didn't make it easy for me. I looked around the bar for Phineas, who I saw at the end of it, solemnly looking down, slowly sipping away at a mixed drink. He took a soft sip inside. I shook my head and walked over to him. As I came closer, he noticed me, scoffing.
Oh? You're approaching me? Instead of walking away, you're coming right to me?
I can't buy you a drink and apologize if I don't get closer.
Ah, then come as close as you'd like.
I sat next to him at the bar, resting my arms at the top. Wood resounding at the sound of my hook landing on it. I winced. I wasn't used to the thing yet. I clenched my gloved hand before raising it, signaling for 2 drinks. Water for me, whatever for him.
How hardcore? Same as the last one, please.
The bartender set our drinks down in front of us and walked away. Phineas kept his head down, and I looked in front of me, almost avoiding his eyes. I sighed, taking a drink of my water as though it was a shot of rum.
Look, I'm sorry. I didn't know saying that would have hurt you so much.
Neither did I, if I'm honest. I didn't know it bothered me so badly until you said it.
What happened, man? I thought we were just blowing off steam or something. Just arguing for the sake of it. I mean, we're all stressed as hell. We're stir crazy somehow, even though we're on the road. I thought we were just bullshitting.
Yes, you thought that. But my idea of blowing off steam isn't arguing with my allies. It isn't good for group harmony, I find.
I know. I'm sorry. Should have thought better of my words.
You know what? Yes, you should have. I mean, I understand, Xander. I understand that you're under a lot of stress. You trusted a girl you really liked, and she betrayed you. You lost a part of your body. You were on death's door. I get it. I do. That level of stress isn't so easily dispelled, and I'm kind of shocked you aren't worse off. Perhaps your childhood is to thank for that. Or blame, depending on how you look at it. But, I mean, come on. We are a team. At least for now. We are allies, and we have been for months. We're not your enemy, son. Why are you trying to bite us?
Look, I don't know. Okay, I was convinced that the worst day of my life was already behind me, and then Tara came along, and now I don't even know if it'll even get worse. I have no idea what to expect, and I'm fucking scared, Phineas. I almost died. If Irene hadn't done something when she did, I'd be buzzard food. What am I supposed to think?
I don't know.
I guess I haven't yelled like that at someone since my dad was still around. I haven't felt comfortable enough to air my grievances, even if that weren't true.
Is that what you think of me?
What?
Family.
Never really occurred to me until now, but I guess in some way, sure. I don't entirely trust you with my life yet, but you'd be dumb to trust your family with your life anyway.
Preach.
I don't know. I guess I never really had family, and this traveling party has been the closest thing to it. Maybe that's weird, I don't know.
No. In a way, I understand. It's been some time since I hadn't felt the immediate desire to split and run.
Well, you've had plenty of opportunities to do it.
So have you.
Why haven't you? Do you really think Irene would spend the rest of her life chasing you down? I really doubt it.
Why do you think I've been Phineas the Evil for so long, Xander? Do you really think I want nothing but destruction and decay?
I mean, kinda.
Midlife crisis will hit you too, boy. I just wanted a purpose. Even if it was negative. I mean, after my son passed, I was lost. I had nowhere to go. My wife kicked me out. I just wandered, trying to pass my research to anyone that would listen so I could have a place to stay. And it never worked. No one paid me any attention. I felt invisible, unappreciated. If I can't influence someone in any way, why be here?
You were an evil mage just to feel something? To feel noticed?
Well, when you put it that way, it does in fact sound bad, but yes.
That's a horrendous reason.
Absolutely. But now, I have a reason to get up every day. I have a mission. People are counting on me. And I guess I needed that more than I realized. I haven't run away because this purpose, this group, has given me more of a reason to exist than I have in years. And I guess when you said I was useless, it took me back to all those years of wandering around unnoticed and alone.
I see. God, I feel like a jackass. Sorry, Finn, seriously.
Thank you. That means a lot. All right, your turn.
Phineas threw back his drink and ordered 2 more. He slid the other one to me and watched me expectantly. I looked down at it, my face contorting. I figured not and went bottoms up. Bad idea. I wanted to cough it up, but I didn't. It didn't go down smooth like everyone says it does. Maybe I just don't like alcohol after all.
Oh, God. Oh, that tastes unique.
You get used to it. But that's not what I meant by your turn. Why do you stay? You could up and leave at any time. Hell, you could argue that now is the best time. You lost a hand, for God's sake. No one would blame you if you did. What's stopping you?
Glanced over at him, my face still sour from the drink. When I saw his face, I could tell he knew the answer. That sly smirk, that slight eyebrow raise. I softly chuckled and looked forward, asking for another. The bartender obliged and put one down in front of me and drank that one too. I sighed again, my face souring.
Stop looking at me like that. You know why.
Oh, I know. But I want you to say it.
Bastard. Ugh, the girl, she's something else, man. I don't know what you want me to say.
Oh, the mind of a hormonal teenager. Oh, it never ceases to amaze.
Shut your mouth. It's not just that. I mean, yeah, I thought she was an annoying pest at first. In a lot of ways, I still do think that, but she's... I don't know. I mean, you gotta admit, she's interesting as hell.
Also, very attractive, right?
Yep, that too.
Well, when reality snaps back in and hits you with the brutal truth that you're in love with a dragon who will eventually go back to her people, you'll probably want to drown your sorrows in a young, buxom waitress back home. Let me know if you need any help. There's a reason they call me Phineas, the matchmaker.
Who's they? And who said anything about love? She's hot, that's it. I don't even like the girl.
So you say, but no boy would go this far for a girl he thought was fun to look at. There's something more there.
Okay, I'm sure you think you know everything, but this time, you're wrong. I'm barely even here to begin with, so what difference does it make?
Oh, I'm sure you'll come around. Besides, you take care of her more than you give yourself credit for.
Just then, a glass broke behind us. We turned around to see Iron doubled over on the table, her face red. When she looked up, she was laughing hysterically, her eyes completely shut. I'd never seen her so happy in all my time with her. I sighed and smiled, embarrassed.
Speak of the devil. Time to get the clown and bow out.
Damn it. Told her not to drink so much.
Still hot?
Reply hazy, ask again later.
We counted the glasses on Iron's table and the one on the floor and added up the total. We paid our bill and hers and walked over to her. I put a hand on her back and she whipped around. I prepared for her to hit me, but her face lit up like she saw Santa Claus.
Oh, what are you talking about? This is just great! I feel like a feather.
drink all of these that fast?
Manna from the gods, I tell you. I forgot what I was saying.
Jesus, you are drunk.
And you're cute.
What?
Ooh, I'm gonna be so mad at past me when I remember saying that.
Oh, Princess, tell us, how do you really feel about Xander? I'm dying to know.
Oh, let me tell you,
No, don't spoil the surprise. Listen, Iron, we gotta go, remember? We gotta talk to your friend, Dosfelgard.
I just realized what that woman's name was. Jen of Dolls. Her name was Genitals.
Come on, off we go. We'll need to rent a room and let her sleep this off. She is way too far gone.
Agreed. I'd like us to move on, but she's completely smashed. Let's get her to bed so she can regret this sooner.
You should tell Edith. If nothing else, she'll get a kick out of this.
Where will we stay? Unless you'd rather bunk with Iron.
Sleep over.
No, are you crazy? I'm not gonna...
Oh, relax, blushy teenage boy. I was only joking.
Being smashed is fun. I wish I could be smashed all the time. Alexander, would you take part in smashing with me?
Oh God, that doesn't mean what you think it does.
I love this. What a fun day. I wish I could stay human forever.
What?
What?
What did you just say?
I don't know. I don't even know where I'm at.
Marriage material, I'm telling you.
Shut up!
Have you guys ever thought about how I can just make fire? It's just so cool.
All right, class, pop quiz. What happens when you drink a gratuitous amount of alcohol in one day and go to bed still drunk? Any takers? Yes, of course. You who I've been telling the story to. Do you have an answer? Correct! A hangover! So guess which dragon in our group had baby's first hangover headaches? I'll give you a hint. Alexander, I'm a pretty pink princess in my pretty pink dress and you're a stupid, foolish monkey! Okay, that was not my best impression, but you get the idea. Iron was pissier than normal that day due to the headache, but after an hour of drowning her in water to drink, it dissipated. Lucky girl, to get rid of a hangover that easy was such bullshit. The next day we walked down a forest path outside Harving and stayed on that path for about an hour and a half. You know, it just occurred to me that a lot of our journey is walking. Anyway, there we were. Walking. Again.
I can't believe you'd say that. The nerve to even imply Ferdinand's work isn't the pinnacle of music is pure, audible blasphemy.
I didn't say it wasn't. I just don't see the appeal. It just repeats the same melodies over and over again.
To be fair, Edith, you've never been a connoisseur of music. You're more into plays.
Sure, when I was in them. Acting was fun, but that's kid shit.
Oh, come on! I went to see a play on a day off about a year ago, and it was amazing. They even sang and everything. It was spectacular.
Ah, it seems Xander is a man of culture as well. At least one of you can appreciate the fine arts.
Keep it down. My head still hurts.
Thought you said it didn't hurt anymore.
It didn't. And then you three started going off about theater.
Fine then. Let's talk about something else.
Yes. I think that would be based.
Whoa. That is a weird accent. Had no idea you said best that way.
What? I said based, not best.
What on earth is based?
I don't know. I heard some youths in town saying it. They seem to regard what they considered as based positively, so I'd assumed it was a good thing. I have no idea what pill they were talking about and why it was red, though.
Children are so strange. Xander, do you understand any of this nonsense?
Sorry, no. I guess I'm losing track of what's cool.
Slang has always been weird. It comes and goes.
And don't even get me started on Pog or who the champion of it is. I thought I understood your language perfectly.
We stopped in the middle of a clearing. Iron held an arm out, signaling for us to stay behind her. We did as she obliged, and she let her hand down. I grabbed my hook, nervously trying to occupy my free hand. The last time we were in a clearing of trees, I lost my hand. So this didn't bring up good memories. Edith didn't seem too bothered by it, though. Might have to do with the fact that she grabbed a shot or two before we left town. I was worried about her. She didn't have this problem before Terra. I just prayed it wouldn't remain an issue.
What is it? It's unlike you to want to rest, Princess.
No resting necessary. We're here.
We're where exactly?
Our destination.
Is it an imaginary city?
What do you see ahead of you?
Nothing but trees, if I'm honest. Am I supposed to see something else?
What about you two?
Ditto.
Just foliage. Nothing more.
Good, good. The veil's still functioning well.
Iron walked forward, unhooking her cloak from her neck and letting it fall behind her. She gestured for us to pick it up, and I rolled my eyes and did so, putting it in Phineas's large satchel he carried with him. Iron stopped right dead center in the clearing.
How much do you know of your kind? The human race?
Only what we've been told to read in textbooks.
You know, I'm not sure who said it, but I do remember it being said. The history books are written by the winners. That couldn't be more true, because while humanity regales its heroes in their triumphs and accomplishments, the rest of the world sees them for what they truly are. Brutes, ruffians, conquerors. Humans are the youngest intelligent race on this planet, and yet the most dangerous. Why, you might be wondering? Because of your undying ambition and bloodthirst. Humans do not see life as precious. They see it as a challenge. Something to be overcome and beaten. It's a competition to humans. Adversely to humans being the youngest, dragons are the oldest. We were here first. We shaped the land that you try so hard to occupy every inch of, and before you ask, no. I do not hate humans. If you'd asked me that a while ago, I might have said I did, but now I understand you for what you truly are. Uneducated fools grasping to violence as a sense of accomplishment.
Brutal.
Dragons, a peaceful, passive race, were hunted and systematically annihilated by humans. But we did not fight back. We simply escaped to a place that you couldn't find us. Because dragons being hunted by humans is something akin to a full-grown adult being hit in the leg by a crying infant. You know not what you do and merely lash out with a false sense of understanding that killing us will grant you some level of accomplishment. Question for those of you still paying attention. Forget the scales, forget the horns, forget the control over magic. What's the one thing that dragons can do that humans cannot?
Fall into hunting traps meant for deer?
Do you find yourself funny, fool?
That name sure came back in a hurry.
Live longer than humans?
Well, that is technically correct. That isn't what I meant. Come on, I'll give you a hint.
Iron looked toward the sky and then cleared her throat, looking at us.
Woo! Long necks. You can reach fruit easier.
How have we made it this far? Flight! We can fly! Flight! Therefore, the one place humans cannot find us is in the sky.
I haven't seen any floating cities around, have you guys?
I think we should have seen it by now.
Although, the very idea of a floating safe haven is quite the thrilling prospect.
That's because humans rely on sight. And us dragons know that. So, we do.
Iron held a hand out and said a chant I couldn't possibly replicate. A strange noise like a power of electricity powering down began to reverberate through the forest. Suddenly, the very reality in front of us began to bend. The trees evaporated into nothingness, and ahead of us was a long path of stone. The three of us exchanged glances. Iron turned back toward us, gesturing toward the path.
Things like this.
Iron turned and walked down the path, and we quickly followed her. The trees blocked the sun, almost making it feel like a tunnel down this long, narrow stone path. It felt so strange to be this close to our destination. Starting in Vespera all the way to here. As we walked down the path, we saw a stone arch with a pair of branches blocking the exit. Once we reached it, Iron stopped. She turned to us, put her index finger over her lips, signaling for us to be quiet. We nodded, and she looked forward. She reached out and swiped the branches away. And it was then I knew we weren't in Vespera anymore. This clearing was ethereal. A great open space of lavender and indigo trees with pink and blue flowers. The grass was a deep blue as well, with large colorful butterflies the size of my hand fluttering in the air. It was as though I could hear a choir singing, but it was just my imagination. This place was full of wonder and imagination. It was simply breathtaking. Almost like we were in Fae territory.
Before we continue, look into my eyes, each of you.
Iron turned toward us, opening her eyes wide, placing a thumb on Edith's forehead. She said a quick incantation, followed by a brief flash of light. She removed her thumb and did the same to me, then to Phineas. She nodded and looked forward.
I'm assuming that was a language spell.
You assumed correctly. This will automatically translate dragon language into common and vice versa. Now you will be able to have full conversations with dragons, which hopefully you won't need to do.
Iron walked forward and reached her arms out wide, dispelling another illusion. The clearing once again evaporated, and what I saw forming on the other side made my jaw drop. It was a majestic dragon sleeping soundly. He was larger than Iron was. I'd say I would have been roughly the height of one of his arms. His scales were a faded red-orange color, getting paler near his belly. He had long, straight horns and a horn on his chin that resembled a beard. Iron stepped forward and called to him. His eyes snapped awake, revealing yellow eyes that were shaped like Iron's when she was a dragon. He rose to all fours and stretched much like a cat waking from its nap. In a strange way, it was kind of cute. He shook off his head when he rose and looked down.
Often it takes time to find prey to eat, and now it comes to me directly? How convenient.
Oh, Dosfulgar, drop the act! We both know you're a vegetarian.
Who dare speak to me that way? The insolence of humans know no bound. Tell me, how did you drop over veils? Who taught you such magics?
Why, you did, old friend.
Old friend? Who are you? Identify yourself.
You don't recognize me, Uncle Dosfulgar? It's me, Princess Iron!
Despacito reared back and roared with an intense, earth-shaking war cry. He lowered his head and stared at Iron menacingly.
How dare you? Impersonating our princess? Don't make me laugh. Our princess is a proud black dragon, and your skin is as pale as snow. You aren't even a dragon. How could you even suggest...
You told me once that you'd recognize me no matter what. No matter how old I got or what happened to me. Here I am on your doorstep and you don't even know who I am.
You are a human. What is a human? A miserable little pile of secrets. All your race does is deceive. When the back is turned, you jab your little tool into the back of the unobservant. Well, your next victim will not be me, or any other dragon.
Enough! Dosfulgard, I need to see my father. Do you think I'd be here if I could fly up on my own? I need your help.
I'll offer you a deal. If you can prove you're indeed the High Princess of Lorium, I will listen to you. If not, I'll cook you until your bones char.
Dosfulgard noticed my fear and turned to me. His nostrils flared.
And who, little boy, are you?
Edith put a hand on my shoulder. I knew what that meant. Fake names. Giving your name to a dragon was a dangerous thing to do. That's why they asked for your full one. With your name, they can track you down wherever you go.
I'm, Joe.
Yo, who?
Joe Mama.
I see. You're a fool to have come to this place, yo mama. And you, the tall lanky one, look good enough to eat. What is your name?
His name is D. D. Snuts.
Interesting. I think if I don't like this false princess answer, I will eat these nuts.
I hate children.
What is so funny? I simply think these nuts would taste fantastic.
And I'm trusting these humans with my safety. Intelligent choice, Iron. Dosfulgard, I implore you, listen to me. You are the wise, vigilant guard of Elorium. Nothing escapes your eyes. And if you look into mine, deep into them, you will see the little drakeling that you helped care for when I was but a whelp.
Dosfulgard leaned down and inspected the eyes of Iron as she requested, and she stared into his without fear. Her clothes would wave from the wind of his nostrils exhaling, but she did not falter. He stared deep into the eyes of Iron, gazing into the fathoms of her soul. His brows furrowed very slightly, and he leaned back.
What has happened to you, Prince Iron? Is that truly you?
Yes, old friend. I've been cursed to be in this form for the time being, but it is truly me.
Oh, Princess.
Dosfulgard lowered his head and lightly nuzzled into Iron's chest. She smiled softly and hugged his nose. I couldn't help but smile. She's finally reunited with her people. And if the entire city was like this, well, they loved her. Dosfulgard raised his head again and regarded us.
Very well, Princess. What can I do to help you cure that which ails you?
My father is all-wise. You know this better than most. He'd surely have the answers for us.
Indeed. But are you sure you want to see him in this state? Perhaps I could relay the message to and from him.
No. I appreciate the offer, but I must meet him face to face. With or without my original form. If he's truly my father, which he is, he will accept me, even now.
And what of Joe Mama and these nuts?
Those are not their names. They were simultaneously protecting their identity as well as being immature rodents.
I didn't say anything. Don't look at me.
Your face is red from laughter! You're just as guilty!
Are these humans accompanying you? Are you sure about this?
I am. My life has been in danger many times, and without fail they have swooped in to protect me. They're worthy of being by my side on this journey. I'm even going to be dragon branding one of them.
Dragon branding? Princess, you know the repercussions of this.
I do. Believe me, Dosfelgard. I make this decision not because I want to, but because I have to. But before anything, we must get to Alorium. I need to gather the ingredients to perform the ritual and to see my father.
Not to mention Revelio.
Yes, him too, it seems.
Who's that?
Not important. Dosfelgard, we require passage to Alorium. Please, let the four of us ride on your back as you carry us aloft into the city.
Ride on a dragon's back. Oh, who said being an evil mage didn't pay?
As you wish, High Princess. Climb upon me. I will take you directly there.
Dosfelgard laid down as flat as he could and motioned us upon him. Iron gestured for us to hop on. Edith jumped on first. Edith loved heights. So did I, but this was on a different level. Phineas climbed aboard as well, sitting in the back. I climbed in front of Edith, and Iron reached her hands up. I grabbed her, obviously with one hand, and she grabbed my hook, and I pulled her on board.
Thank you for letting me boost you.
Who said dogs are hard to train? You're a natural.
What was that?
Up, Dosfelgard! Carry us up!
Dosfelgard rose to his feet and shot into the sky with shocking speed. We all almost fell off if it wasn't for the arch on his back holding us in place. Edith was having the time of her life, Phineas was in wonder, and I was pretty close to having a panic attack. I'm the hero of this story, by the way, just in case you forgot.
Please don't drop us, Mr. Dragon, sir.
Nonsense! I'm the most careful flyer in all of Valorium.
You say that, but you did like 3 barrel rolls just now.
Grip onto the princess hips if you're scared, boy. You'll be fine.
Beg your pardon, Dosfelgard?
Oh, come on, Ivan. The boy's scared out of his wits. Just look at him.
Iron looked back to see my face. Her expression dropped and contorted to almost like a cringe. I couldn't tell if it was just my expression or she just thought I was that ugly. She rolled her eyes and looked forward. The tips of her ears reddened.
Well, go on then.
I did as she asked. Her warmth from her slender body gave me tingles in my hand. Oh, shit, she's looking right at me. Don't tell her I said that. That sounds creepy. I held on for dear life, and to this day, I couldn't tell if it was because I was scared of falling, or I just really liked the feeling. Either way, I wasn't going to let go.
Be thankful, children of man. For you're about to see a sight to behold. Next stop, the proud city of dragons, Alorium.
I thought about my life up to this point. A poor little orphan wondering how he's going to get a bite to eat, to flying on top of a dragon holding on to a princess while I do it. Life is honestly kind of fucking cool when you put it that way.